John, so I was wondering about what are the income tax implications of both settlements and awards, and how are those typically treated for both state and federal income tax purposes?
Any other subparts to that question?
Yes. I was wondering if you're or a lawyer like you who takes a certain percentage of the settlement or the award, if that segment then also becomes a tax deductible expense to the plaintiff.
Yeah. Okay, so here's the answer. It depends. Okay, if you're making good old run of the mill, claims from a car accident or something like that, those damage awards are tax free. Okay, you don't need to report them. They're not income according to the definition of the IRS. There's no taxes due. Do not report them because sometimes tax preparers don't actually know exactly how those should be treated. For some cases, and you mentioned federal, and so that kind of drifts into a different category. Let's say we had a employment case where part of the claim that you're making is that you were wrongfully terminated, and you're keeping tally of the wage loss that you lost. Okay, if eventually your resolution of that case includes the payment of that wage loss, very likely the defendant corporation is going to report that as wages, and you're going to get a W-2 reporting it as, or a 1099 reporting it as money paid to you in the way of wages.
Which
and you will
totally
be
makes
taxed
sense
on that.
because that's presumably to compensate you for the wages you would have made,
Absolutely.
and they would have been taxable. But in the context of your work, where you collect money for pain and suffering and things like that, that's non-taxable, from what I heard in your answer.
Correct.
But lost wages, part of that award.
If they're identified and they're being paid for by a corporation that you worked for, okay? Compensatory damages that are paid for by a third-party defendant are not going to be into that category.
Okay, gotcha.
But if it's an employer and you're suing them for lost wages, then yeah, it's going to come back on you as wages. Now, for your final part of the question, subpart 3A, subparagraph C there, are the fees paid to the law firm deductible to you? They're not deductible to you because they never make it to you. All of the money paid to a law firm, the entire damage award, gets reported under my tax ID number, and then we pay out to our clients. And so we have to pay taxes on it like any business income, but you don't, and we have the complete paper trail. But they report all of those settlements through my tax ID number.
Thank you, John. Totally makes sense. What a great, clear answer from an experienced attorney.